Did you hear? MARTA is expanding its use of Oracle's human resources functionalities. The authority will extend its use of Oracle to MARTA's management staff. As we move forward in our initiative to become paperless and more efficient, this new process allows us to improve our accuracy in information handling, establish better workflows, and streamline business processes. These functionalities allows MARTA's functional managers to process terminations, voluntary and involuntary, access the employee's employment-related information, move direct reports to other supervisors as needed, and generate reports regarding HR-related actions. In addition to the functionalities for the managers, as a pilot program, MARTA is allowing the managers to update and maintain their personal records. This will definitely reduce workloads in both the human resources and payroll departments. It also places the responsibility of updating the personal data in the hands of the employee. Let's begin this training by reviewing the manager functionalities. This is MARTA's Oracle login screen. As a manager or a MARTA employee, you're probably familiar with the screen. To get started, enter your Oracle username and password. Press Enter on your keyboard or click Login. This is the Oracle Applications homepage. Again, because you're familiar with the screen, we will not review its functionality, but we do want you to notice the new roles under the main menu. These roles include Employee Self-Service, HR Manager Self-Service, Manager Self-Service, and ACMED Self-Service. We will see Employee Self-Service demonstrated in a separate presentation. Because HR Manager Self-Service and ACMED Self-Service roles are tailored to the specific needs of those departments, we will not cover them. Employees affected by these roles will receive additional training. To proceed with our training, select the MARTA Manager Self-Service link. The first function under the Manager Self-Service menu is All Actions Awaiting Your Attention. Any process requiring action on your part will be listed on this page. This is especially true if additional information is requested of you in order to complete your request. Since we do not have any pending requests, we will return to the main menu by clicking Home. There may come a time when you, as the functional manager, will need to transfer a direct report to another supervisor or approver. Let's look at this process using the Change Manager function. Just as you have seen in other areas of Oracle, here is your people hierarchy. In this list, you should see your direct reports and those who report to them. The information on the screen is self-explanatory, but there is one not so well-known shortcut available to you in the Oracle people hierarchies. Without clicking, try hovering over an employee's details. Now isn't that interesting? You're able to see the employee basic information, including contact information and badge photo, at a glance. To put it in perspective, if you're approving time and need clarification of an entry from the employee, you can just hover over the details to see the contact information. No need to thumb through your contacts or databases for this information. Once you are done, close the small pop-up window to continue. Now that we know what hovering over details can do, let's see what actually clicking on the details will show us. We see the employee's basic information plus salary, absences, assignment start dates, tenure, and more. This is a summary of the employee's career here at MARTA. You can also view the salary changes by clicking on the Salary tab. Again, this information is self-explanatory. No need to elaborate. Although we've took this time to review the people hierarchy and its available information, we still have not performed the task we initialized, which was to change the reporting manager. Let's return to the people hierarchy. This time we want to perform an action, so click the action icon. In order to change the manager, you must enter an effective date of the change. You have options when selecting the effective date. 1. You can key in the date in the correct format in the box where the dates reside. 2. You can click the small calendar icon to the right of the box, and a calendar will pop up and you can click the date you want to select. Or 3, you can click the date on a big calendar to the right, and that date will populate the date box. For our example, we click the calendar icon. This behaves like any other electronic calendar. Select your date. The date selected will populate the field. Click Continue to proceed. On this screen, notice that you can do one of two things. You can assign a new manager, or you can assign new direct reports. When you assign a new manager, if you want to also assign new people under that manager, you can do so under the Assigning New Direct Reports. But to continue with our example, we only want to assign a new manager. Let's search for that manager. When the search window opens, it shows the current manager in the results. If you don't want to change this, simply cancel to return to the previous window. Otherwise, enter the new manager's name in the search field. Once the field is active, you can click X to clear it, then click Go to perform a wildcard search for all values. As you can see, this list can be pretty extensive. Though you see all employees listed, you can only transfer to a manager in your cost center. To narrow your results and find the new manager, enter the manager's name in the search field. Click Go to search. In the results, find and select the new manager. The Quick Select button is the easiest method. As you can see, using the Quick Select button not only selected the new manager, but also returned us to the Change Manager window. If you had attempted to transfer to a manager not in the same cost center as the current manager, you would have received an error message. As mentioned, you can add new direct reports, but their current manager must be in the same cost center as the proposed manager. Click Next to proceed. After verifying that all of the information is accurate and adding supporting documentation when needed, click Submit to start the approval process. This is your confirmation screen. You may click Home to return to the main menu. Notice that we now have a notification regarding the Change Manager action. If you read it, you'll notice that our change has already been approved. Unfortunately, there may come a time in your career as a functional manager that you may have to terminate an employee. Regardless of whether the employee leaves voluntarily or involuntarily, the process is the same. Please note that this is a termination request. You must still complete the entire hard copy termination packet and attach it to this request. The link is available on your course page. Click Termination. Again, this is a people hierarchy, so you can hover over the details to see basic employee information. To begin, click the action icon. The first step in making a change is to indicate when the change is effective. You have two options. You can choose a specific date, or you can choose to have changes take effect as soon as the final approval comes through. You have options when selecting the effective date. 1. You can key in the date in the correct format in the box where the dates reside. 2. You can click the small calendar icon to the right of the box, and a calendar will pop up and you can click the date you want to select. Or 3. You can click the date on a big calendar to the right, and that date will populate the date box. Select your date. Click Continue to proceed. Following the proper protocol in conducting terminations protects the authority from potential litigation arising from the termination. When terminating an employee, please provide a reason. This field is mandatory and includes an extensive list. A word of caution, this reason should also be documented in the employee's records. There should be no contradictions between the system's electronic records and HR's paper records. Until you learn the rehire codes, click Go to search for all of the codes. Select the appropriate code. Choose the last day the employee worked. Click Next to proceed. Review and verify all the termination details. Don't forget you must complete the termination packet, get all required signatures, and scan it. Afterwards, you can attach it to this request by adding it under Attachments. Notice that you can view the approval chain at the bottom of this window. By scrolling down, you can expand the approver details for more information. When you're done, click Submit for processing. Here's your confirmation. Click Home to return to the main menu. Back on the home page, you will notice that the termination request appears in your notifications. Unlike the Change Manager, it is not automatically approved. It has been forwarded to HRIS for approval. If you recall, that was the first approver in your approval chain. If you need to review your direct reports information, click on My Employee Information. Once again, here is a people hierarchy. On this hierarchy, you have two tabs, Employment and Salary. Select the employee you wish to view. The Employee Information screen displays a summary of the employee record as of the effective date displayed. On this screen, we see the employee's basic information, including salary, absences, assignment start and end dates, tenure, and more. You can also expand the details of each assignment. After viewing the assignment details, which includes work hours and hire date, among other information, click Home to return to the main menu. As we saw in the employee information, even with full-time employees, work status can change. This is especially true for contract employees. To indicate the employee status, click Contract Employee Extension. Another people hierarchy is displayed, but since we have covered the details, we won't review again. However, to proceed with the changing status, click the Action button for the employee whose status you wish to change. Remember that there are 3 different ways to select your date. Choose to have changes take effect as soon as the final approval comes through. To proceed, click Continue. Since this is a contract assignment, enter contract start and end dates. We will use the calendar icon. When the calendar appears, pick your date. Insert the end date. To save time, we simply inserted the end date. Click Next to proceed. Because this can be either a contract extension or a new contract, proposing pay changes are optional. We will explore both options. First, let's proceed without a pay change. Click Next to continue. Review your proposed changes. On the lower part of the screen, you can add attachments, basically any document that support your action, such as a memo from your approving authority, i.e. your director, AGM, etc. Also, you may notice that you have 5 levels of approvers and can add any comments you deem pertinent for the approvers to view. This is how you change the contract dates without a pay change. If this is all that was needed, you would click Submit, but we have another process. Let's look at how to request a pay change during the process. Click the Back button. You may notice that on this screen you can view the employee pay history. This is helpful because with some status changes, a change in pay may occur. If this is the case for your employee, click Propose Pay Change button. On the Pay Details screen, choose your pay change method, whether to change actual pay or specify multiple components of pay. For this example, we will leave our selection on Change Actual Pay. Notice the salary basis. This information is hard-coded, preventing changes. This basis is derived from the job classification. Enter the new actual pay amount and tab or click another field. Talk about efficiency. You don't have to calculate information for all of these fields. Based on your entry in the actual pay amount field, Oracle calculates the other data field for you. Enter any pertinent comments you deem necessary. In addition, to make sure the new salary is in keeping with other employees in the peer group, you can view comparisons for employees in the same job. Click Submit to process your request. Now, back on the Select a Pay action screen, you will see Proposed Pay Change listed. Of course, the status is showing as new. You will also have the ability to update or delete your proposal. If you need to review or clarify this information before submitting, click Save for later. This will allow you to come back once you have the clarification you need and just edit these changes that are here in progress versus having to start the process over. If and when you're done, click Next to proceed with the request. Review your assigned changes as well as your pay changes. On this screen, you can add attachments, basically any documents that support your action, such as a memo from your approving authority, i.e. your director or AGM. Add any comments you deem pertinent. These comments are for approvers to view. As you can tell, there are 7 approver levels for this process. You are able to show detail for each level. Click Submit to process your request. Finally, you've reached your confirmation screen. Remember, this process has an approval chain, so it has to be submitted for manager approval. Click Home to return to the main menu. Back on the home page, you will notice that the worker status change request appears in your notifications. Since it is not automatically approved, it has been forwarded to the MARTA Budget Finance Administrator for approval. If you recall, that was the first approver in your approval chain. Sometimes finding contact information for an employee can be daunting. Where do you look? Outlook, your Rolodex, your department-specific contact spreadsheets, or some combination of any of these? Even once you know where to look, who maintains the information? Is it accurate? Well, Oracle has a solution for you. The last function we will discuss as a part of the manager self-service is personal information. In the employee hierarchy, click the Action button for the employee whose personal information you want to view. This information is not editable by you. It is populated by HRIS. In the future, it will be editable by the employee via the Employee Self-Service menu options. Scroll down the screen to view basic information such as marital status, home phone number, address, etc. After reviewing this information, click the Back button to return to the People hierarchy. From here, you can view other employees' information or click Home to return to the main menu. If you have no other function to view, click Log Out to log off. This concludes our training of Manager Self-Service. As the authority moves forward in our initiative to become paperless and more efficient, this new process allows us to improve our accuracy in information handling, establishing better workflows, and streamlining business processes. We thank you for taking the time to learn the features of this system. As the needs of the authority change, we look forward to offering more efficient processes. You may now close this browser window.